Welcome to Kevin and Brian's Horror Bulletin podcast, recorded live in Bluehouse Studio. I'm Brian.
I'm Kevin.
And as we mentioned last time, horror news will now come regularly on our Twitter feed and Facebook page instead of in the podcast. No more news in the show.
That way we can be more timely and give you more news than we were before.
The reviews are good forever. The news gets old fast.
Yeah, it gets out of date. Yeah.
So we'll just be discussing movies and shorts, and we may creep into some spoiler territory. We will creep into some spoiler territory.
Yeah, you are warned. If you want to go into these fresh, now's your chance.
Yeah, pick up these movies, watch the movies, and then come back and we'll talk. So this week we're going to cover the Universal Studio movie, Werewolf of London.
1935. Yeah.
The contemporary classic Coherence.
2013.
Was it so coherent? We'll find out.
Coherence. Yeah.
Discussion of the short film Googly Eyes, and the very new horror movie High Moon, otherwise known as Howlers, from 2018. And new last week we have our international feature, and this week we've got Train to Busan from 2016.
A South Korean zombie movie.
Yeah, a good one too.
Yeah, it was.
So there's a lot of movie to talk to get going, so let's get started.
Sure.
Here we go. But before we get into this week's movies, what else did we watch this week? I'm going to give a shout out to a couple of non-horror movies that would never make it into this podcast.
Such as?
Iron Sky and Iron Sky 2.
The sequel. The original and the sequel.
They're definitely sort of tongue-in-cheek sci-fi, but they're really good.
They are. They are hilarious. Yeah. We saw the Iron Sky for the second time.
Seen that before.
To refresh ourselves before watching the sequel. And it was every bit as good as the first one.
And they say someday there will be a third.
Yeah.
Secret Nazi base on the dark side of the moon.
On the dark side of the moon. They fled to the moon. Yeah.
But now they're back.
Yeah.
And we also watched Stan Helsing. Most of it anyway. You didn't like it.
I didn't like that one bit.
It's one of those parody movies like Scary Movie or Epic Movie, but this was horror themed. Well, like Scary Movie, only cheaper, I think.
Small town. He's a descendant of Van Helsing, and all the monsters are converging on the town, and he has to save the town and save the world. And
he didn't like it because it was dumb. I laughed a couple of times. I mean, you don't go into this taking it too seriously.
No.
It was not the worst movie I've seen this month.
No, wasn't the worst.
It was dumb,
Yeah.
but it was, kind of funny dumb. So,
Yeah.
okay. So, Universal.
Yeah.
What'd we watch?
Werewolf of London from 1935. Yeah. Henry Hall and Werner Oland.
Directed by Stuart Walker, written by John Colton and Robert Harris, and Henry Hall, Werner Oland. 1 hour, 15 minutes.
They're getting a little longer.
Long by Universal standards.
A little longer, yeah. And this is the film that kind of made up the vampire myths. Yeah, vampires. Werewolf myths.
No
that
vampires.
we think of. The full moon. A bite of a wolf makes another werewolf. What was the other? Oh, the silver.
Silver, yeah.
Yeah, Those originated basically in this movie.
Yeah, real werewolves, you had to be involved with witchcraft.
Previous
and
to
you
this
became
movie.
a werewolf because you wanted to. It wasn't a curse. And this movie kind of changed the rules.
Yeah.
It became the default for werewolf lore since then.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool.
And we did do some checking to see what the very first werewolf movie was. And there was a silent movie in 1916 called The Werewolf. Which is lost. It died in a fire somewhere in the 1920s.
But that was witchery. It wasn't like the full moon kind of werewolf.
This is the first mainstream commercial werewolf movie. Period.
Yeah.
Dracula, Nosferatu came first. But werewolf, these guys had it first.
Yeah. The Wolfman is one from 1941 is usually what people think of. But this was
Was it
first.
41? I thought 3.
Yeah, 41.
Okay. We'll get there in a couple weeks.
Preceded it by 6 years.
Yeah.
This one wasn't nearly as big of a commercial hit.
It wasn't nearly
as
good.
the Wolfman. Yeah.
It wasn't bad. Well, botanist Wilford Glendon, there's a name for you, Wilford Glendon.
Awesome.
and his assistant are in Tibet looking for a strange flower that only grows in Tibet and only blooms under the full moon. They meet a priest coming back down from the mountains. The priest warns them not to look for the flower, as they may regret it. Of course, they disregard the warning. What was he bearing on his harbinger?
Harbinger. He was the harbinger.
They disregard the warning and
Yeah.
proceed. They hear a howling in the distance, and they both have trouble walking, as if some invisible force were holding them back. And this never comes up again.
It's never
and it's
explained.
never
Or
explained.
it's just kind of
Suddenly, they just
they
can't
were
walk.
being repelled somehow.
We don't know why. Maybe it was a cut scene.
No.
So they both have trouble walking. Something invisible's holding them back. Glendon spots the elusive flower and heads straight for it. As he gets ready to make a clipping, he's attacked and bitten by a werewolf, of all things, which he then stabs and the wolf runs off.
He doesn't realize it's a werewolf fully at that time.
He never really explains what he thought it was.
Yeah, and then it cuts to his lab. He's in
Yeah.
his lab with the specimens. He's a botanist, a scientist, who studies all kinds of weird plants and carnivorous plants and plants that only grow under the full moon.
And he's trying to make artificial moonlight.
He succeeds. Because a month later, he actually puts his hand, he's reaching for the plant across his moonbeam, and his hand starts to wolf out. So it's kind of a neat.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, he thinks to use the plant. Well, I think it's mentioned. The lore says,
You're getting ahead of things.
I'm getting ahead of things. I'm just so
He's
excited.
excited, yes.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, his wife Lisa sees Paul at the party. She and Paul go back a long ways, and Glendon doesn't like it. Mr. Jealousy.
Oh, that he was working in his lab, and there's a party outside, and she calls him away from his
Yeah.
work for the
They've
party.
got a party right upstairs.
Well, it's a huge estate of a,
Yeah.
he's got his lab and the mansion and grounds and
A
this
wealthy
huge garden.
botanist.
Yeah, he's well-to-do.
So at the party, he meets Dr. Yogami, who claims to have met him in Tibet.
Who's generically Asian.
He doesn't remember Dr. Yogami, but Yogami remembers him. Maybe he didn't look the same. He says the flower requires moonlight to bloom, and his clippings all died. The flower is said to be the antidote for werewolfery. There's a word for you.
Well, werewolf.
That's werewolfery. Glendon doesn't believe any of this, but Yogami definitely does. He rubs Glendon's now healed arms and tells him that it's transferred by a bite. He knows more than he's telling. Later, Glendon gets the plant to bloom with his artificial moonlight, but also notices that his hand gets all hairy in the moonlight beam.
Yeah, I gave that away.
He sticks himself in the hand with the allegedly antidote plant,
And
and
it
it
works.
turns back to normal.
Yeah.
It works.
Uh-huh.
So Yogami shows up again and warns that tonight is the full moon. The antidote is only effective for a few hours, and there's no real cure for this disease.
Yeah, it's just a temporary fix. Yeah.
The werewolf instinctively seeks to kill the thing it loves best, he says. And his wife and Paul leave for another party, leaving Glendon at home. It's kind of a stick in the mud. The wife's going out with another guy because he's boring.
Well, he's got work to do. His work is important. Why don't you go ahead, dear?
Should have gone to the party.
Yeah. Well, that would have been wild. Yeah, if you
It would have,
wolfed
yeah.
out at the party. Yeah.
That night, sure enough, he turns into a werewolf. More man-like than dog-like, he has a very Eddie Munster-like appearance.
You know what it made me think of was the island of Dr. Moreau.
That too.
The animal-human hybrids.
They were a little better makeup, though.
Well, much more modern, yeah.
So he goes after the antidote flowers, but they're gone. Yogami has stolen them. Meanwhile, at the party, they start hearing an animal howling. The werewolf breaks in and scares the lady hosting the party, but everyone just assumes she drank too much, which she did. Instead, the werewolf kills a girl in the street. Rawr.
Arr.
The next day, the police start talking about the crime, and Paul, who just happens to be a detective, chimes up with, "It could be a werewolf."
Which seemed kind of out of the blue for him.
Yeah, I'm sure that comes up all the time. It could be a werewolf.
What?
But nobody looks at him like he's insane.
Yeah.
He says he's heard stories about this kind of thing before, but no one else there has. Glendon's wife knows there's a problem with him, but he won't talk about it with her. He goes off instead and rents a room in a nearby boarding house from these two old ladies that keep beating each other up. They're the comic relief of the story.
Kind of thing, yeah.
Look in the keyhole. Whack.
Whap. Fooled you.
He wolfs up again the next night and kills another girl at the zoo. Yogami goes to the police, saying there will be 2 more murders before this stops for the month. Meanwhile, Glendon goes to his country home to get away from the city. He gets the caretaker to lock him in the tower until morning. Coincidentally, Lisa and Paul stop by the same house.
That's unfortunate.
The werewolf sees them together and, in a jealous rage, breaks through the bars and gets out. Paul whacks him with a stick and they run off, but Paul recognizes him. So next time you're attacked by a werewolf, just hit it with a stick.
Yeah,
maybe
works.
Throw the stick. Maybe he'll fetch.
Yeah.
The next night, the flower is again ready to bloom, and Glendon is eagerly preparing. Yogami gets there first and uses the plant.
I like how that worked out.
They fight, and halfway through the fight, Glendon changes, but Yogami doesn't since he took the antidote.
Yeah, how
Yogami
unfortunate.
is killed because he's not a werewolf
Because he's
anymore.
not a wolf, yeah.
Glendon attacks Paul again and then chases after Lisa. The police arrive and shoot Glendon in the back, who dies and reverts to his human self.
And it didn't have to be a silver bullet. It was just a regular bullet, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Silver came later.
Yeah.
But the full moon and the...
Almost
almost all the rules came from this.
Yeah.
So, you liked it, I take it?
Overall, yes. Yes, I did. Yeah. It was a good, sharp copy. Nice sound. Nice picture
It
quality.
looked good for black and white.
Good and sharp, yeah. There's something to be said about Yellowface. What's the actor's name who played Yugami? He played Charlie Chan later on.
Warner Oland.
He's not the least bit Asian.
He's got kind of puffy eyes.
They enhance it with makeup.
But in 1931, before this, he was in this movie Charlie Chan, one of the Charlie Chan movies. And he did a whole bunch of Charlie Chan movies because I guess he looked just Chinese enough.
Chinese, yeah. Yeah, with makeup, yeah.
And it's not like they didn't have real Chinese people in California.
Yeah, I don't know
They
what
had
the
a
deal
large
was.
Chinese population after the railroads, and they had a Chinatown in Los Angeles, and they could not find a real Chinese person.
And Yogami is supposed to be Chinese, Tibetan. I mean, he's vaguely Asian looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Glendon has a video phone, or maybe it's a security camera in his basement lab.
I think it's a security camera.
Which is a little unnecessary sci-fi when this was filmed.
Way ahead of
Didn't
1935.
have those back then.
Yeah.
Paul has one of those annoying little thin mustaches that makes all the leading men of the period look alike. Every
was the
Universal
fashion.
movie we have seen, from The Hunchback of Notre Dame up to this one, has a heroic man with a thin little pencil
The
mustache.
thin little mustaches were hot back then.
They all look alike. You couldn't tell them apart. Oh, look, he's a leading man. You could tell by the mustache.
by the mustache. It's just above the lip.
Why would anybody look like that?
It was the thing. It was cool. It was fashion. I read that the howl of the wolf was Henry Hall's voice howling combined with a real wolf howl. They mixed them in the studio.
The howling was pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
Then I continue on here. Werner Oland played an Asian in this movie, one of many Asian roles for this Swedish-born actor, best known for portraying Charlie Chan. It's the first mainstream werewolf movie, and almost all the mythology of werewolves in this was okay. And first one.
Yeah.
Liked it.
Yeah. Overall, thumbs up.
Solidly in the middle of the Universal films so far. Certainly not the worst, definitely not the best.
Yeah.
But worthwhile.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
And more importantly, it was coherent. Which brings us to our next movie.
Coherence?
Coherence from 2013. Directed by James Ward Birkitt. Written by the same guy. Or maybe it's his double. Starring Emily Baldoni, Maury Sterling, and Nicholas Brendan. 1 hour, 29 minutes. Okay.
Low budget movie. 50,000.
They said they wanted to
$50,000.
write it as a play. They wanted to be able to film it all in one room. And they didn't even really have scripts.
Yeah.
For each of the scenes, they gave an actor a single paragraph saying what their goals were for this scene.
And then they had to carry out those goals and
Ad-libbed.
just ad-lib. Almost all the dialogue was ad-lib.
And my biggest complaint...
They had the story laid out, but...
I don't think the actors knew the whole story. The director did.
Yeah. They kind of... Yeah. Well, that was part
They didn't
of
know
the
what was
thing.
going to happen as they went through it.
Yeah.
Which would be a great party game. As far as a movie goes, I don't know.
Yeah.
All these people with their goals and their cards, and
We didn't see the cards.
we
literally.
didn't see the cards, no.
no.
But they all try to talk over each other through most of it.
There was a lot of that.
Yeah.
It was 8 people at a dinner party all talking at once for a lot of it. Yeah.
Well, the complaints come first. Here comes what happens. There's a comet in the sky, and the news people have been saying things will break. Em's phone cracks on her way to the party. Just
Yeah. Spontaneously. Yeah.
Beth at the party explains that she's brought horse tranquilizer, and anybody who wants to try it is free to enjoy.
Well, it's not. It's a
It's a
mix
mixture,
of valerian and diluted ketamine.
Yeah, because
Because a mixture. This
this is a quiet dinner party where everybody's meant to sit around the table and drink champagne and talk witty, and she brings horse tranquilizer.
A low dose, just enough to mellow you out, she says. Just a few drops.
It's a strange dinner party, even if nothing had happened.
A little bit, yeah.
Nobody at the party has any cell service. They all blame the comet.
Mm-hmm.
Emily tells a story about a comet in 1923 that made people in Finland completely crazy. There's a lot of chit-chat at the dinner table as we get to know the various characters. Some other people's phones have also shattered. One guy, Hugh, has a brother who works in theoretical physics, and he wants to be phoned if weird stuff starts to happen, but they can't call him because all the phones are broken and there's no internet.
There's no landline, and there's no internet. The internet is down.
Yeah. Then the power goes out.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole bunch of people talking over each other for about 16 hours.
It's not 16 hours.
Felt like it. When the power comes back on, Hugh goes to a neighbor's house and finds a locked metal box. Inside the box are pictures of all the guests with numbers written on the back. There's also some other stuff. There's a ping pong paddle.
There's a ping pong paddle.
Yeah.
No, that was all.
That's all?
Yeah,
Okay.
the photos and a ping pong paddle. Yeah.
And there's some indication that Hugh may have accidentally walked in a circle and was outside their own door.
Now, one of the weird things in the box of photos, too, the one guy is wearing a sweater that he just bought that day.
But nobody's taken his picture.
Nobody has taken his picture at the party, and yet one of the pictures in the box is of him in that house. You can see something in the background, and he's wearing that sweater.
But nobody took his picture.
But nobody took his picture. So how does that work?
It's a mystery.
Yeah.
So there's a knock at the door, and they find a note taped to it. And it's the exact same note that Hugh was writing at that very moment.
Uh-huh, yeah.
It seems to be some kind of time distortion, possibly. What do the numbers on the back of the photos mean?
We don't know
Why
yet.
is there a ping pong paddle in the box? Why was this box there anyway?
Well, we find out.
A group of 4 of them carrying blue glow sticks go in search of a neighbor's house, but encounter an identical group of 4 people carrying red glow sticks. And they all get scared and run away.
There were multiple boxes of glow sticks, and they just randomly picked blue.
Yeah. Hugh then explains the theory of Schrodinger's cat and mentions a theory where both realities could be true at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Schrodinger.
And it gets...
Man liked to kill cats.
And it gets weirder from there.
They theorize that there are 2 realities that are crossing over, at least until the comet goes away.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of discussion about going over there and killing their alternates.
Which is one solution, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. One guy even comes up with the brilliant plan of blackmailing himself. He knows all his own secrets, and he knows how he'd blackmail himself. He'll blackmail that guy over there.
Well, I guess they have some concern that when the realities, go or unite again, that they won't be the ones that are, the survivors, basically. And I don't know. There's a lot of things that they throw around ideas, but that is one of the ideas they throw around. Let's go kill our doubles.
Yeah. Then the power goes off again, and it all becomes a big game of who's real and who's an alternate. How many realities are there, and does any of it really matter?
Well, they figure out that, with the photos. Is that spoiling too much?
Let's don't. Okay. Yeah,
it gets complicated.
I think we've spoiled. Well, we haven't really spoiled anything, but
yeah.
Let's not go further with that.
It gets complicated.
It gets really complicated. Yeah.
I liked the story. I liked that complication.
I liked the plot. It made good sense eventually.
And how this gradually gets weirder and weirder, and you do gradually figure out what's going on. But maybe with real scripts would have been better.
I think so.
Less improv. I think that weakened it.
13 minutes in, after 13 minutes of boring dinner conversation, 13 minutes. I timed it.
You timed it. Okay.
I started checking the clock. That's how I knew it was
That's
13
not
minutes.
a good
It's
sign.
like,
Not a
I'm
good sign
bored.
when
How
he
long
checks
are we
the
got to
time.
go on this?
Yeah, it's not a good sign.
A great deal of the dialogue is ad-libbed, as the actors didn't have scripts. They were just given a short paragraph for each scene.
Seems ad-libbed.
Yeah, a lot of it does.
Yeah.
So they all seem to want to talk over each other through most of the film.
Mm-hmm.
There's 8 people at the party. Oh, this is weird. And every time there's a knock at the door, they all act terrified.
Yeah,
even
overly
the first
so.
time.
Yeah, when nothing really
bum.
that weird has happened.
Who could it be?
Yeah, eek. And
They live in a normal neighborhood where houses are all around in
That's a nice
California, Los
neighborhood.
Angeles, or somewhere, and like we have neighbors.
Yeah.
We don't scream when the door knocks.
No, the cats do.
It's not the middle of the night. It's dinner time.
Yeah.
So there are no werewolves or psycho murderers out there. There's just people seem to be scared to death of their own neighbors. Must be California.
Mm-hmm. I guess.
Eventually, it becomes somewhat clear what's going on, and it does get interesting. But it took a lot of meandering dinner conversation, alternating with a lot of shouting,
A little
to
bit
get
too
there.
much. A little bit too much of that. Yeah.
4 of 10.
Should have got
4 of 10.
I give it a 6. 6.5 for the story. Yeah.
You are generous.
Yeah.
You were all googly-eyed throughout the movie.
Did we watch a short?
We watched a short.
We watched a short called
Googly Eyes from 2019. Directed by Daniel Amador, starring Jeremy Hoover, Julie Fuentes, and Daniel Amador. 5 minutes, 19 seconds, so it's a long one.
Available on YouTube.
Links in the show notes.
Yeah.
A woman answers the phone because her ride is late to pick her up. There's a strange man with giant googly eyes watching her from across the street.
And he looks so cute and harmless. He's all smiley and cute with his
big old eyes,
big old cartoony. And they are literally those googly eyes, but they're gigantic. They're like this big around. I didn't know you could get them that big.
Well, he waves and she's creeped out. She goes back inside. Someone knocks on her door, but when she goes to answer the door, there's no one there. When she returns to where she was waiting, her phone is now missing. Yeah. She steps inside and locks the door. Then she hears her phone ringing from inside the house.
From inside the fridge.
Yeah.
She tracks it down. Where is it? And she knows she didn't leave it in the fridge.
It's decent. It has a plot where things happen, and it's easy to follow. It all makes sense. The idea is pretty neat. The googly eyes are either silly or creepy, depending on how you want to look at it.
Starts out cute and silly and ends up creepy. Yeah.
Nothing is explained, and there's no reason for any of it, which takes a little something away from it. Still, it's well made and coherent, so it's worth a 5-minute investment.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, it's
Thumbs
worth
up
it.
from me. Yeah.
Well, Werewolf of London. Was that our werewolf fix for the week?
That wasn't our werewolf fix for the week.
Should have been.
We watched High Moon, also known as Howlers. I think it was High Moon originally, then they changed it to Howlers.
Yeah, I did, with an IMDb search, I found other movies called High Moon, so they probably wanted to make it a little more distinctive. And this is indeed a howler.
Yeah.
Director Josh Ridgway, written by Josh Ridgway, starring Sean Patrick Flannery, Chad Michael Collins, and James Wilczek. 1 hour, 32 minutes. And earlier we were talking about Stan Helsing, and I said it was dumb but funny. This wasn't funny. It was, however, kind of dumb.
More on that later.
In 1863, the local gunslinger goes out to fight the criminals under the full moon. The gang shows up and there's a standoff. The sheriff shows up and they surrender to him. The whole gang turns into werewolves and kills everybody but the gunslinger, who manages to kill them all with his arsenal of werewolf-killing axes, a scepter, and pistols. The gunslinger was seeking revenge for the death of his wife. He meets up with a magical ninja who runs him through with a sword, killing him on the spot. Credits roll.
This was after he buried the werewolves.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess the ninja buried him. Because fast forward to modern day,
in the present
all these
day,
graves, all these coffins have bobbed up to the surface after a major storm.
Yeah. The gunslinger wakes up and breaks out of his coffin, and so do all of the killer gang. The modern-day sheriff gets a call from a family that just found a bunch of coffins laying around with no apparent graves, and a couple of kids saw the whole thing and tell the sheriff that they were werewolves.
Well, there's a dead guy there.
And there's a dead guy.
They killed a guy.
Of course, no one believes that.
Yeah, it's just kids. They're crazy. Yeah.
The wolf gang comes upon a biker gang stopped for a rest, and things go badly for the bikers. There's a new biker gang in town now.
Yeah, and the aftermath of that is gory. Yeah.
Bikers are tough. They're not tougher than werewolves.
Not tougher than werewolves, apparently. Yeah.
Lucy finds Colt and takes him home. She lets him take her husband's clothes and guns as well. She just happens to have silver bullets, too. You know, every gun collector has silver bullets.
Mm-hmm. Her husband was a gun collector. Yeah.
He was not a werewolf hunter.
Yeah.
They have the usual fish out of water discussion that people from the past who awaken the present always have. Mm-hmm. You've heard it before. There's some drama between the mayor and the sheriff. The mayor had been sleeping with his wife, and the sheriff doesn't really appreciate that. There's also a bar fight, and Lucy and Colt meet up with the sheriff. Shortly afterwards, they find a bunch of biker skulls and body parts, but no clothes or bikes.
One survivor, though, to tell them what happened.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There's always one left. Werewolves. There's a battle between the sheriff's department and the wolves. After that, Colt explains what the situation is to all the modern people. It seems that the keeper from another dimension, the magic ninja, came to find him and taught him all about the Howlers. Colt has killed over 100 of them, and he buried the scepter with this bunch. That scepter is the only way to kill these werewolves.
For once and for all.
Yeah. The sheriff thinks it's bull, but he soon learns to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Now he has to convince the mayor.
So they go to the mayor's house and hole up there for a final attack.
Final battle, yeah.
Final showdown, yeah.
Okay, well.
So here's where we can talk about the ending that I loved, that where Lucy and Colt got together, and Colt ended up as the new sheriff, and the Sheriff Ethan ended up as the new mayor.
Uh-huh. That's not what happened.
How about my other favorite ending, where the sheriff ran away from his cheating wife and simpering daughter, and he and Colt teamed up and ran off together to be like
buddy movie
partners, like Supernatural.
Die Hard with werewolves.
That'd
be good. But no, that wasn't the ending either.
No, that wasn't the ending.
You didn't appreciate the ending, did you?
Oh, I enjoyed the movie a lot. I felt robbed by the ending.
Huh.
I'm going to spoil the ending.
Go for it.
That's how angry I am.
Spoilers.
Yeah. So
what happens at the end of this wonderful movie?
So there's the final battle between the two groups at the mayor's place. Then the mayor gets beat up but not killed. Ethan, the sheriff, gets bitten, and Colt says, "Oh, we got to kill you because you're going to change." And like they're Lucy is like, "No, don't." And she's like, "Okay, well the power of the scepter could heal him, but we don't have the scepter. The werewolves do." Well, fortunately, there's a final battle between him and the head werewolf, and he kills the head werewolf, sort of. The final battle comes down to Colt's about to get it, and somebody stabs the head werewolf, and it's Lucy who grabbed the scepter and is suddenly a werewolf. And
we didn't see her get bit
you're
or
not
eaten or anything.
And it's like, "He's not the last werewolf I am," and runs off. What?
And then there's one of those above the credits things that says the mayor got better and the sheriff died off screen.
Yeah, and that was my next thought was, well, he and the sheriff will run off together then. And like, no, that sheriff that was the secondary hero that you grew to love throughout the movie.
It's like they couldn't figure out how to fit a good ending into the movie.
He died, yeah. Well, but scepter, you had the scepter, you could have healed him, and you didn't heal him or couldn't heal him or whatever. Oh God, I
couldn't afford the actor for a healing.
It wasn't,
scene.
Yeah, it wasn't a good payoff for watching that movie. It was an okay movie. I was entertained. I was more entertained than he was.
What's your out of 10?
3, because of that ending.
That may be the lowest movie you've seen.
It's an attractive cast, and I thought they did a nice job. The werewolf makeup's a little lame, I thought. It's not great.
I have words.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. But I was entertained up until that frickin' ending. Like, what? I got 2 great endings that you could have ended this. I would have been so happy. And I would have given it much more than a 3.
Or if you want to kill the good guy characters, go ahead and kill them, but at least do it on screen.
Yeah.
Not as a footnote.
Yeah. Like, oh, yeah, well, the sheriff, yeah, well, yeah, he's dead. What?
Well, at the very end, they say Colt will return in a sequel. And I think they had the idea that they were going to make a sequel to this.
They could have with
And
him
my
teamed
guess
up with
is,
the sheriff.
my guess is the sheriff actor said, "Oh, no way, I'm done with this. I'm out of here." So they just killed him off screen.
Yeah.
Which they could have done before the third movie, instead of spoiling the end of this movie.
Second movie. Yeah.
All right. Well, apparently everyone in the Old West was just dirty and covered in filth. That's how you know it's in the past, because they're all covered in black goop.
I've seen Gunsmoke. I know how the documentaries work. Yeah.
The bartender in the bar was covered in mud.
Yeah, that was kind of taking it too far.
In addition, they all have meth head teeth in the past, which may well be true. I don't know. There seems to be a whole lot of background mythology behind this plot that doesn't really matter. Who was the magic ninja, and was the magic ninja or the keeper even necessary? There's not a lot of magic ninjas in the Old West.
He was much older than Ninja, though. He wasn't really a ninja. He just looked like a ninja.
All right, he looked like a ninja.
He was much older than the ninja. He was ancient. Ancient magical being.
Okay. The werewolf makeup and effects are truly atrocious.
Not atrocious.
The 1935 Werewolf of London had better makeup, and the gore effects are pretty cheesy, too.
No, the gore effects were good. I thought the gore effects were good.
It's the most CGI-looking blood splatters I've ever seen.
Now, what I didn't like...
It's like... And they just stayed on the camera because they were just overlaid with the computer, you could tell.
Oh, those.
Oh, those.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about those. Okay.
These guys don't even act like werewolves. They talk, they ride motorcycles in werewolf form, and they use weapons. Considering that everyone is armed with silver bullets from the get-go, they're effectively just a regular biker gang with bad makeup. The guy playing the mayor also... Oh, this guy. He has all the acting abilities of a pro wrestler and very much the same style of trash talk and mannerisms.
Harsh.
Did you get the pro wrestler vibe out of that guy?
No.
Oh, you don't watch enough pro wrestling.
I don't watch enough pro wrestling.
A lot of the characters die. A lot of the characters become werewolves. A lot of the characters are killed twice. And a lot of the werewolves are still alive at the end. The credits say Colt will return in some planned sequel, so the story doesn't even end properly. Some movies are so bad they're fun to watch. This is just dumb.
Lucy was the only one left.
And that's a werewolf.
Yeah.
Left at the end that shouldn't be.
Oh, yeah. But the gang werewolves were all killed.
What'd you say, 3? What'd you say, 3 out of 10?
Yeah.
I'll go 2 out of 10 just to beat him. It sucked.
Only for that ending.
Oh, the acting was really kind of horrible, too.
I didn't think so. It wasn't that bad. I was entertained.
Watch Stan Helsing. It's better.
No. No.
Speaking of truly horrendous, sucky movies, we have our international feature to talk about.
Which was not a sucky movie.
No, it was not.
It's a terrific movie.
Train to Busan, 2016.
Our second time seeing it.
It is. Director, Sang-ho Yan. Written by Jusuk Park, Sang-yo Yan. Starring Yu Gong, Yumi Jung, and Dong Sok Ma. I bet I got those right.
I bet you did. Yeah.
1 hour, 58 minutes, Korean, subtitled. Okay, so...
We watched the Korean subtitled version both times.
I don't know if there's a dubbed version, but
is.
I would recommend the subtitled version.
Yeah. In India, they had 4 versions. There is an English version, Hindi, and 2 other languages, not South Korean, that was released in India.
I think with this one, the voices and the intonation and the acting is important.
I think so too.
Even obviously, nobody understands Korean but Koreans. But
I think a dubbed version would not be as good.
Do the subtitle one; it'll pay off.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure.
A delivery truck driver is stopped by some guards as there's some kind of industrial accident in a plant of some kind near the road. He convinces them to let him pass. He hits a deer on the road. The dead deer, very dead deer, twitches and gets back up, not as dead as it might appear. It's a zombie deer. Credits roll.
Yeah. We never see the deer again.
Nah, the deer is not the main character.
Deer is not the main character.
But hey, the dead are coming back.
But it was a hint of what's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of thought the deer was going to attack the guy or something, but he just got in his truck and drove off.
Yeah, before it reanimated. Yeah.
Deer is just showing you what's coming.
Yeah.
Soki Woo is a fund manager in the middle of a divorce, and he gets a call that his daughter, Soo An, is going to visit her mother tomorrow in Busan. He can never get time off work to take her, so she wants to go alone. But he gives in and takes the day off to accompany her. Mm-hmm. On the way to the train station, they see a bunch of fire trucks and ambulances go by. Something big is going on downtown. Mm-hmm. They board the train, and there's also a baseball team, a man with his pregnant wife, a grumpy older businessman, and a pair of old grandma sisters on board this train.
Those were kind of the main featured characters.
Well, there was other people, lots of extras.
The train is full of people. It's a big train.
These are the people we get to see and
These
know,
are
though.
the featured people, yeah.
At the last section, an injured girl jumps on the train, and the train leaves. As they pull away, Suan sees one of the train guards get jumped on by something outside the window.
It's just kind of a blur. You see it.
It's something got him.
What? And she's even like, what did I see?
The injured girl is hiding in the restroom. The attendant checks on restroom doors, and there's a homeless-looking guy cowering in there. It's the wrong restrooms. Camera trick. Mm-hmm. He's terrified, saying, "Everyone is dead." Everyone. Yeah. And he's kind of shell-shocked throughout the movie. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the sick girl is twitching and convulsing all over the place in a different car and appears to die. Seoki gets a call on the phone and sees on the news that there's rioting and serious problems back in the city. Mm-hmm. The dead girl in the back of the car now has white eyes and attacks the stewardess.
It's not really
not stewardesses on a train. What do you call them?
I don't know what you call them on a train, but that equivalent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the train staff.
Yeah.
Almost instantly, the stewardess turns into a super fast zombie and starts going at it with the entire baseball team, killing several. Things go downhill very fast.
The disease is very virulent and very fast.
Yeah.
You get bit and then you die.
Less than a minute.
Yeah, within a minute or two. Yeah.
Before long, the healthy people split off from the zombies, but that can't last. And what's going on outside, off the train? This train can't keep going forever. Stop after stop, they find the zombies are everywhere. Mm-hmm. Eventually, they stop at Daejeon Station, and the doors open. No one is around, so they all disembark.
It's all clear. Hey.
Then they notice that the military isn't there as they were supposed to be.
Oh,
then they find out what happened to the military.
Is there.
And it's a tense stampede back to the train.
After that, quickly.
After that, it's one damn thing after another.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah. This poor group of people, which gets smaller as the movie goes on.
These are well. What do you think?
Huh?
What's your opinion
of the whole thing?
Yeah.
In general, it's a win.
Well, there's more action after that, but
yeah,
it's just
lots of
action. Not a lot of story, just action.
Well, yeah. As the group is kind of whittled down, and they.
One by one, the group gets smaller.
Yeah, there's survivors. There's a group in car 13, and there's a group in car 9. Zombies in between, and the car 9 people are trying to get through, fighting or sneaking their way through.
As they say on The Walking Dead, the group faces challenges.
Yes. And sometimes you don't have to be the fastest, just don't be the slowest.
These are easily the fastest zombies I've ever seen in a movie. Mm-hmm. The dead turn nearly instantly, and they move really, really fast.
Well, it's like a super, super harsh case of rabies. Imagine frothing, just totally insane. Broken bones don't slow them down at all. Yeah, I mean, they just keep on, if, break them bad enough, they kind of crawl after you then. They don't.
They don't stop.
They're not bothered by pain. Yeah, they're just
I don't remember seeing
frenzy.
Any zombies get killed in this movie. Normally, you shoot them in the head or beat up the head, and they stop. These,
no,
I
the
don't
head
think
doesn't
they
do
did.
It. No,
Nothing stops these.
Enough damage. Eventually will. Some did.
No arms, no legs. They're not going to chase you.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Broken legs, broken arms. Yeah.
The characters make really good use of modern technology. Mm-hmm. Cell phones, Twitter, social media, the news. And through all of this, you can see everything developing in the background. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff going on off the train video
video screens on all the cars that are showing the news.
The pacing is perfect as the suspense and stakes continually build as the people's options get more and more limited. The zombie bridge hanging from the end of the train toward the end of the movie was just totally awesome.
Yeah.
These zombies travel in huge packs and waves. There was a scene in the Game of Thrones Winterfell battle a couple of weeks ago where the zombies just seemed to break over the crowd like waves.
Yeah.
They copied that from this.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Well, and the one scene too where it was the scene where they got off the train briefly at the stop where the military was, and there's a glass wall of glass doors that's separating them from the horde, and the horde keeps piling up, and the glass is starting to crack, and the doors are starting to crack. They run for it, and that gives all at once, and it's just a pile
Like
of
100 zombies just plop.
Yeah.
Okay, the various characters are distinctive, and most have some purpose other than just becoming zombie food. The father has an interesting character arc as he goes from a selfish fund manager to a dad who's willing to sacrifice anything to keep his child safe. And, of course, there's always that one guy who screams and yells and wants to be in charge no matter what.
Oh,
I'm going to go 10 out of 10.
me too. Yeah.
One of the best movies we have seen.
With the second viewing, I still keep it a 10 out of 10. I liked it even better the second time, I think.
The subtitles, there's a lot going on to read subtitles, but on the second time, you knew what was basically happening. You could pay more. Yeah, you're definitely really good.
Yeah, very.
Yeah. Watch it. It's good.
Yeah.
With subtitles.
Yes.
Suffer through them. If you don't like subtitles, it's worth it.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, is it that time?
It's that time.
And that's our show. Thanks for joining us. Stop in during the week at horrorbulletin.com for news and horror updates, to comment on this podcast, or to contact us. Get ready for next week, because we'll be watching Dracula's Daughter from 1936.
I haven't seen that.
I don't think I've seen that.
I haven't seen that at all.
13 Sins from 2014.
I haven't seen that.
Dead House from 2014.
I haven't seen that.
And the international one is The Rift from 2016.
I haven't seen that.
Which is a Serbian film. A Serbian film?
Not to be confused with a Serbian film.
Yeah, we're not going to see that one
Not
again.
the literal Serbian film.
Give those a watch this week and see if your opinion matches ours.
Yeah.
Check out our Twitter feed at Horror Bulletin, and of course Horror Bulletin on Facebook. If you get a chance this week, leave us a review on iTunes or leave a comment on our YouTube page. We would love to hear from you and love to hear your suggestions.
Yeah.
If you got a movie you'd like to hear us review, let us know what it is.
Let us know.
We'd even watch something bad if we have to.
If you're an indie filmmaker and want us to review your film, we're up for it.
Short or long,
if you've got
doesn't
review
matter.
copies, yeah.
I'm Brian.
I'm Kevin.
And we'll see you next week.
See ya.